I'm just setting up the live stream so I can watch it on, or monitor the chat on a laptop alongside, so bear with me. Okay, I think we're good to go. So Kev Townsend says, hi, hello Kevin, Christian, oh this is something I might buy. Okay. So this, I didn't know this was coming out at all. I only just found out about this afternoon, so I've been madly scrambling to write up the procedure to start the aeroplane up I can follow, and I'll be making that available, as well as obviously when this video is finished, as soon as I finish the live stream, I'll make the procedure available. So it's about halfway towards study level, which is quite a shock because Captain Sim haven't got the best reputation. So this really is getting back. Apparently, years ago, Captain Sim had quite the reputation for making really good aeroplanes, and it looks like they're getting back that way. So we'll go and have a walk around the aeroplane first. So you can see this is impressive stuff. I imagine this has been in development for a very long time. So this is not the old version of the Hercules that was released. This has got a fully working interior and it's all fully modelled all the way through. And the procedure for starting the aircraft up is quite involved, and I'm going to work through it with everybody to show you it. So let's go and have a little wander around the aeroplane before we get into the cockpit. Sorry, you have to excuse me, parking's a bit tight here at China Lake today. There's a lot of F-35s parked around the place. Whoa, they really have gone into some detail, haven't they? I mean, look at the quality of the texturing. Even the smallest labels have been modelled. I'm not sure the wheel wells have been modelled. Actually, it looks like they're not that bad at all. Okay, let's go and go inside, shall we? So we'll just go nice and slowly. That's insane, isn't it? I really didn't expect this to be as good as it is. At all. Everything's animated as well, so when you open and close the doors, they animate really nicely. Even down to the structures on the doors are very, very well done. I mean, look at this. This is just madness. I've never seen a developer step up quite so much as they have with this. I can't remember how much it was now. I just went and bought it. So let's go and have a look. You're going to go mad when you see the insides of the cockpit as well. So let's go in through the normal entrance. Interestingly though, there's a floor in the way here, which I don't think there should be. But we can get around that by coming out of here. So I'm using the drone camera, by the way, which is why I'm not clipping on walls. Yeah, look, you can see there's a whole new structure in here. So let me turn the drone camera speed down a little bit. So we're in the cockpit, by the way. We're at the back of the cockpit. So we've got the navigator station here. Various books. And yeah, it's quite something, isn't it? So sorry, I'm just trying to slow the camera down a little bit. There we go, that's better. So a lot of this isn't actually functional, but some of it is. So I'm not going to delve too much into it. I'm just going to go through the basics. So this clipboard is what commands the various things to happen. So if we go and get that engine in view over there, for example, and we go and click on, you can see all the animations happening. So we'll close all those carolings. We'll take all of the intake plugs and pitot plugs off of the aeroplane. We'll close the access hatches, get rid of the toolboxes. We'll close the ramp. If I get this right, so if we close the ramp, there we go. Get to see it happen. So there don't appear to be too many sounds. You would have expected to hear an electrical noise when that was happening, but apparently not, so we're not going to worry too much. So then we can remove the wheel chocks as well, close the entry door, so you'll see that happen as well if I get the keyboard shortcuts correct. Okay, so I'm going to jump away from the... Actually no, before we do go away from the drone camera, let's just have a quick look around this cockpit then, because it is impressive. It's very, very impressive. I mean, it just looks photographic. And it extends way overhead with the biggest bank of switches you have ever seen in your life. And most of them work. Or enough of them work for you to have fun with starting the engines up and managing them, let's put it that way. So it's not a study level simulation, so you're not going to be able to do really fine-grained failure control and things like that, but it's pretty good. And it looks the part. Even the material around the roof looks good. Let me just check the volume levels, make sure I'm not blasting it too loudly. Now I'm fine. Okay, so shall we go and get this thing started up? System fidelity, I'm just reading the live stream comments there. I would say it's about 50% there in terms of, towards study level. It's enough to play with, enough to keep it interesting and just to have fun. It's not a study level, so you can't damage the engines as far as I can see. You can't really wreck the aeroplane. But you could obviously practice procedures with flicking switches, and it's broadly, as far as I'm aware, it looks about right. So let's go and get into our cockpit view so we can now look around and do things. So we're going to use keyboard shortcuts to look around the place as we do this, and I'll try to remember where things are. I've written instructions down for myself and I'm going to follow them. I will be sharing these instructions later. So go overhead. We're going to the co-pilot and co-pilot's AC instruments to on. I'm just going to check something here actually. I moved something earlier. Bear with me for a moment. I'm just checking my notes. I think I've got a mistake in my notes here. I moved something and I thought I was being clever. Yeah, so these need to be off. This is all correct. Don't worry, I'm worrying over nothing. So we come down to, unfortunately, where this is so badly worn, you can't really see the white writing, but we need to turn both of these on, basically. And then we go to the external AC power, which is below the bottom left of the yellow bar, and we click that, and that brings all the dials alive. You can start to hear things happening. And then the bus tie section, which is under here, and we flick that switch. I'm not sure if I'm flicking that the right way. The documentation isn't very good. So no doubt a real C-130 pilot's going to look at this and start laughing out loud. And then we go to the DC power section of the green bus at the far right. So let me press Control 9 again. Have I got the wrong... No, it's down here, yeah. The green bus, far right. And we rotate that around to battery. Then Control 0 takes us further overhead. And we go and put the GTC door to open. This is the gas turbine compressor. So what you might know as an APU in other aircraft. We're going to use it to obviously create compressed air to spin the engines up. So the master knob needs to go to start and then run, and as it starts up, once it's on speed, the on speed light will start running. So we're just waiting for that to happen. Wait. There it goes. So on speed is now flashing. And the bleed air valve can now be opened. So bleed air valve is here. We can open it. And then the air turbine motor can go to on or down. So air turbine motor goes to on. Okay, so then Control 9 brings us further down. We rotate the ATM generator switch, which is over here. And then we turn the anti-collision lights to on, which are over here. And then we go to the inverters, which is on the yellow bus, and we turn them the rest of the way round. I'm not sure if I'm doing this right, because the instructions weren't great, but I'm presuming that's right. Okay, so then Control 3 brings us over to the co-pilot position. We're going to put all of the engine pump switches to on or up. So let's see if we... Oh, they are, or they're in the on position already. Okay, so I don't actually need that in my instructions. It's just that it was in the original instructions to check that. So now we're going to work through starting each engine up. So looking overhead, we're going to go to the engine bleed air override for each engine. So we'll put override on engine number 1. Then we go down to the condition levers and we'll move the condition using the mouse wheel. Bizarrely, you can't drag them by the look of it. For engine number 1 to all the way forwards to run. Then we go back overhead and engine start switch to start. So these are at the bottom left. Have I got the right place? I think I've got a mistake in my instructions, haven't I? Yeah, here we go. So let me just correct that while we're waiting. Oh, well, should I put it on the outside view while we're doing this? So you should see this engine spool up. Yep, that's good. Okay, so we'll jump inside and we repeat through this. So we have to put the generator on as well. So the generators are above the yellow bus and we can turn the generator on for engine number 1. So we just click on it, I guess. Yeah, there we go. Okay, then we repeat that for the rest of the engines. So Control 0 takes us overhead. We put the bleed air to override for engine number 2. And then we come down to the pedestal. We put the condition lever all the way forwards to run. And then come back overhead and flick the start switch for engine number 2. And we can sit out here and wait for that engine to come up. So this is literally the first time I've walked through these instructions myself. I've kind of done some book learning on it. I'm going through the procedure, because there is no documentation with it, by the way. All you get is this brief checklist. There's 2 options with a few things in it. So I've gone through it and I've embellished it a little bit here and there. But there's obviously a lot more to learn. We've done engine number 2. We need the generator on for engine number 2, don't we? So they're up here, aren't they? See, I'm still completely at sea with it myself, so I apologise in advance for being quite slow about doing this. So override for engine number 3, then come back down to the condition levers, engine number 3 to run, back up overhead, start engine number 3. Watch it start running. And once it's up and running and stable, we can do the generators for engine number 3. Okay, so back overhead again. Engine number 4 goes to override. Advance the fuel levers. We'll be getting good at this, won't we? Control number 9. Engine start switch to start for engine number 4. Sit and wait for it. So just while that's happening, actually, let's have a little look then and see what the instrumentation is looking like inside. It's looking good, isn't it? So we've got RPM, we've got torque, we've got the temperatures, we've got the fuel flow. You've also got the oil pressure, oil quantity. So it's looking really good, actually. Okay, so once the engine has started, we'll go and put the generator on for that engine as well. And that's basically the engine's started. So then we go back overhead and we turn the engine bleed airs just to on instead of override across the board. Okay, so we no longer need the gas turbine compressor, so bleed air valve can go to closed. The master central knob can go to off and the GTC door can go to closed. Engine bleed air, we've done that. AC external power can now be turned off. Ah, it's done it itself. Okay, that's good to know. Didn't realise it did that. And post engine start, we can go and put the nav lights on, which are over here somewhere. So we want them on steady. Anti-collision lights are already on. Leading edge, what does that do? Not sure where those lights are. But you can just about see the nav lights are lit up there. Okay, let's go and check the flaps out, things like that. So the flap lever is here. At the moment, I seem to have about 25% flap. Let's go and look outside and see the flap move. Or the flaps move, I should say. So let's go to full flaps and exercise them just to see what happens. It's pretty good, isn't it? And put them back in again. Try some of the control movements. So let's go and have a look at the tail as well. Very cool. Okay, let's go back to 25% flap then. Well, shit, I think is it 25 or 50 for takeoff in a Hercules? I have no idea. I had a quick look around online. I couldn't find anything definitive. So we need to calibrate the altimeter. And I'm not sure if the gyro compass is drift in this. I wouldn't imagine it's that accurate. It's got some novel nav radios down here. Look, you spin them forever and a day to tune them in. Actually, saying that, that's not happening, is it? Why are the nav radios not working? Oh, they are. It's just me going very slowly with it. So if we go over there and have a look at them, but yeah, the reason is that there's an extra digit we're not seeing. So it's going to take a while to tune in any beacons, which would be good fun. Okay, should we go taxi? So let's center the view up and put the head tracking on. Doesn't it look awesome? Oh, let's try something first. Let's just see if this is possible. Sorry, I couldn't resist it. Had to try it. Okay. Now, I believe the radar might actually work. But I've not tried it. It's a bit of a beast, isn't it? Oh, I don't think I should be running across the dirt here somehow, but it's too late. Actually, that's a piece of texture missing, isn't it? Do the wipers work? Well, if you know where the control is for it. So, it does appear to have an autopilot. I'm guessing... Oh, this is just the HSI control, isn't it? I think. There's a lot about this I don't know, and there's no documentation with it, so... Engine fuel enrichment... So yeah, if you know where the controls for the wipers are, you're better than me. They could be down here, couldn't they? So Jacob's saying, is this built off of a default aircraft, or have they actually decided to make... Well, you judge for yourself. It looks pretty fantastic. And although I don't think everything is functional, an awful lot of it is. So I've just run through the engine startup, and it was not too involved, but everything seems to respond. Okay, let's pull out to the runway here then. So as far as I'm aware, rotate speed in the Hercules is about 110 knots. But while I'm here, I'm just going to change my server in the simulator, just so we got a hope of seeing some other traffic, because I'm on West Europe at the moment. So let's go and put this on West USA, which agrees with where we are, and resume. We might see some other traffic along the way then. So let's have a look at those as we accelerate then. So full throttle. $50 knots, 60 knots, 70 knots, 80, 90, 100, 110, begin the rotation, and we're up immediately. So gear up, let's go and have a look at that happen. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? So flaps up a step. So flaps up. Let's pull the throttles back a little bit. I think it's got constant speed propellers, hasn't it? So I'm not sure. There's nothing in the instructions about pulling the condition levers back after takeoff. Okay, so where are we in the world? We've just taken off from China Lake. We're still going the same direction. So if we were to activate that leg and fly over 255 degrees, so let's do some basic navigation here. So we've got an HSI. I haven't got any sort of GPS as far as I'm aware in the aircraft. So it would be strictly either TACAN or VOR navigation as far as I'm aware. I've not played with any of that. So you're seeing this for the first time just as I am. How much fuel have we got? So we got fuel in the wings. By the look of it. And quite a lot of fuel. So we're just coming around to 255 degrees. Oh, it's making some reassuring creaking noises. Very cool. I like that. Okay, where's the vertical speed? Okay, got it. So we've got the typical instruments really. We've got indicated airspeed. Interesting. Radio. So along with the HSI, you've got another compass. Is that the equivalent? There's no binnacle compass, is there? So that's the equivalent of it, I guess. You've got radar altitude over the ground. I'm guessing that's Nav2, I'm not sure. Or is it ADF? It's probably ADF actually. Let's have a look at the map. So we're heading out towards Isabella Lake, where the low level route starts. That's a good point, actually. Somebody's commented about the freight not being tied down. I wonder if they've done that. Can we walk through the wall with the... I think we can walk through the walls. Oh no, we can't. It's got clipping. Damn. How would we get to look in the back? I'm just wondering if we were to go and look in... Oh, can we open the... You're probably way ahead of me with this. Because I don't think there's any views within the back of the aircraft. Let me just work through them. Control 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. No. So what we'd have to do is use the drone camera. So if we just go and open the ramp. Now where was the ramp? There it is. Oh, there must be a speed limit on doing that. We are doing nearly 300 knots, but it's a shame you can't open it in mid-air then, if that's true. Because then you could simulate doing cargo drops. Anyway. So we need to go another... If we go 270 for a while, if we go up this valley, this will make some fun flying, won't it? There's the comm radio frequencies. Oh, to look where I'm going, really. Get our bearings a little bit, so we can see that's Lake Isabella, or Isabella Lake I should say, down here. I have no idea how the radar works, so you're free to join me if you want. As I said, I'm approaching Isabella Lake, which is near Kern Valley. And I'm on the West USA server, so if anybody wants to come fly along, obviously, unless you've got the Hercules, you won't see one. So it'd be interesting to see what it appears as, I guess. Trying the controls out a bit, see how it reacts. Okay, let's have a quick look down here then. What controls do we get? And is any of it actually operable? I think, oh, some of it is. I'm not going to spend too long down here because I need to look where I'm going. So if we pop over this ridge ahead of us, and then we should turn right over the dam at Isabella, which is the beginning of the low-level route. But obviously this is going to take a long time to do the low-level route if we're going to have to do it at 250 knots all the way. It'd be good fun though. I just can't believe how good this is, because I've never bought a Captain Sim aeroplane before, I don't think. Or if I have, I've forgotten. And literally, I had not done so based on reputation, but whether it means that this is a return to form for them, or they've hired developers from elsewhere, I really don't know. I think they've pitched this for the community, so it's not study level on purpose, if that makes sense. So it looks the part, and a lot of the switches do operate, but I don't think they really simulate the behaviour of the real thing too closely. Because for an aircraft this complicated, it would probably turn a lot of people off. Whereas I think Captain Sim go after the mass market typically. Just increasing the power a little bit, just to bob over the top of here. Okay, and then we roll around to the right and you should see the dam, and there it is. On the left side of the lake. So we're wanting to leave here about 350 degrees. So that's 310, just coming up on 20. So I think there's a noise abatement area around Kern Valley and Kernville that we have to avoid, which is why we're not in that valley over there. We have to pretty much go over the top of here and then drop into the low-level part of the route, as far as I'm aware. Obviously, if we had a real military aviator here to talk us through it, we'd have to do that as a group flight at some point and try and find somebody and invite them that's flown it to point out some of the visual reference points. That'd be good fun, wouldn't it? Because the map I'm following is based on a real briefing that happened as part of the public domain. So if you go and download, or if you go and search online for the Sidewinder Low Level, you'll find a PDF you can download from the US Air Force with all of the, the NOTAMs to do with the era it was done. I think it's back from about 2017. It might even be before that. So let's get some power back on. The sound levels. Okay, yep, that's pretty good. So we're aiming for the needles, which I think is that one right out there, and it'll probably draw in a little bit better later on. So we're coming up here. If we look down in the valley, you'll see Kernville. Let's just scoot across the cockpit. We'll do it this way. It's easier, isn't it? So Kern Valley Airfield is down there, and then you've got Kernville in the base of the valley. Jump back in the pilot's seat. Looks awesome, doesn't it? They've even got custom pilots, look, with the proper kit on. So there's the needles. How are we doing on speed? I'm going to pull the power back a bit, getting a bit fast. Engine beta works, yes it does. Yeah, it was the first thing I tried when we pulled away from the stand. I put the engines into beta and it rolled backwards across the tarmac and made appropriate noises. It's a bit of a masterpiece, isn't it? It's very good. It'd be fascinating to find out. I don't know if we've got any VOR beacons out here, have we? Or TechOut even. There's one over here to the left. We might lose sight of it though. 11625 for TTE. So let's just turn the head tracking off for a moment and get this trimmed out. Recipe for disaster doing this, isn't it? 11625. 162? Is that enough? So where's the HSI? How do you set this to use it for? Yeah, there's so many unknowns about this. I saw it a minute ago. Oh, they were down here, weren't they? You could set which input you're using, I'm guessing. So that's the engaging the autopilot on the various axes. Oh, here we go. So if we go ILS, can we put this to... No, there's no nav mode. Interesting. Well, that's a shame. That's if this is doing what I think it does. So it's probably just the blind leading the blind, to be honest. Unless I've only done... 11625 we want, don't we? I'm aware of that. Okay, we need to turn anyway. $40. Yeah, I have no idea on some of this if it's been implemented. It's interesting that it's going straight past nav, which you would imagine, although that seems to be only influencing the attitude indicator, not the HSI. So there's probably more to this that I just don't know yet. I have no doubt I am missing things all over the place. So we've got low pressure showing up here. Oh, that's because there's probably no fuel in there. Yes, same the other side. That's interesting though. Why is that happening? So if we put the boost pump on, so that wasn't in the instructions. but it seemed to be running quite happily without the boost pumps. Okay, how are we doing in terms of the route? Oh, we're way miles away. So there's a dip in the hillside over here that we want to be aiming for before we get to the valley. So if you look over here, there's several dips that you can fall through. It's much more obvious when you're closer to it to see them. I've only done the Sidewinder route a couple of times, so I'm slowly learning the landscape along the way. Yeah, so this is one of those ridges that you can, if you look on the map. So if we were to go down there, but we're actually looking to go further to the left. So we'll hold the line. Something I haven't tried yet. What does it have spoilers? I don't think it does it? Oh, someone's joined us. Got an F-18. Okay, so we're turning left to 335 degrees to go along the valley floor, basically, right the way along here. So we'll descend as quickly as we are able. Terrify everybody on the road as we come past. I wonder if I slow down a bit if we're allowed to open the ramp while we're in the air. So let me pull the throttles back for a while. So I think that'd be good fun. So we've still got the drone camera's busy floating around out there at the moment. A bit too close to the ground though. Scenery around here is amazing, isn't it? Okay, let's get away from the floor. Let the airplane slow down. And see if it will let us open the ramp in flight. It won't even let us open the parachute doors. I wonder why. This must be something I've done. Or not done. Okay, let's get down below 200 knots and see what it says. Nope, still not allowing it. Down at 190. So maybe it's just something that is an oversight in this version 1.0 that they're not allowing the cargo to be deployed yet. That said, there was another download, I'm thinking. There was a mission pack, so maybe you need that. Maybe I'll have another look later on. I'm pretty sure there was a mission pack for it to download as well, alongside the aircraft. So the cockpit, just for those that are coming in late, the cockpit is stunning, absolutely stunning. So if I go for a wander while we're flying along, there's a lake up ahead which is our turning point, so I'll just leave us climbing along here. You can see it's just ridiculous. It's very, very good. That said, the altimeter in the back station doesn't work, but we're really picking on things like that. But a lot of this works. And I'm absolutely stunned by it, to be honest.
Lower co-pilot panel should have the pump as well as the ramp and the door controls. Should we go over there while we're messing around then? There's the windshield wipers. They work. That's the buzzer for the parachuters. So do we get door controls here as well then? Panel lighting, flood lighting, that's all the interior lights. Propeller governors, feather overrides. This is for engine failure and fire control, isn't it really? That's not clickable. Neither is the alarm bell. Yeah, so a lot of it doesn't actually do anything, which is a bit of a shame. Okay, sorry. I'm not looking where I'm going yet. Have we overflown the lake already? I think we just have, yes. So, 60 degrees. We have is it an L39? Is it actually an L39 now, or is it something else? Yeah, it is. Very good. And we have, I don't know what that is. It looks like a custom coloured version of the jump jet from... I've lost him. I'm not going to worry about chasing other people. Oh, there it is. Is that the Halo jump ship? Anyway. So we're coming around the top of the Sidewinder Low Level route. We'll be going south back down towards Panamint Springs in a minute. Just reading the live stream comments, this is a significant step up for Captain Sim. It's still not study level, so you wouldn't expect it to be. They're aiming this at the mass market, I think.
but it's great fun. I think it could do with some... This is version 1.0, remember, although people are going to argue that they came out with a version of this without the cockpit previously. It could do with some extra tweaks though, things like being able to open the doors while you're in flight to go look out of them. But we're really picking at holes in it there, and there's things like, if this is what I think it is, why can't we choose nav mode to get the HSI to show us? That would mean you can't use ILS either, by the look of it. Although it does have ILS here. Oh, VOR/ILS. So maybe nav means something different. Okay, so we're probably too far away from that other beacon now, aren't we? So what about this one? 113.335. We'll try it in a moment. In fact, we're fairly stable going out across here. So let's go see if we can do that. So I'm guessing this is nav 1. We want 113. Is that 35? What's the range on that? 25 miles. Ah, we're probably just out of range of it. That's really great, isn't it? Oh well, it nearly worked. We'll try it on another one. So it looks like it might work. When we come back into China Lake, we'll try out the ILS frequency. Just opened the engines up. So if we sneak through the gap here and come back down through the lava flows, and that will take us down towards Panamint Springs. It's quite cool being able to look down and see so accurately below you. So, I'm just wondering, yeah, there's no other radio beacons that are close by. What's the range on that TACAN over there? I wonder if it works with TACAN. That's only 45 miles as well. And that's way further than 45 miles away. Anyway. Isn't it great though to have a Hercules with a good cockpit at last? I wonder if the fuel cross feeds all work so you can push fuel around. It looks like they do. Obviously I'm not going to play with it right now because I've not read up on it, and well, there's no instructions with it, so it's going to be a voyage of discovery to begin with. I'm quite shocked that there's no documentation at all. So we're going that way in a few minutes. So when we do get back down to China Lake, let's go and find out. We should be able to pick up the... I wonder if we'll pick up the Tecan. We can try it, can't we? There's no ILS here, unless we go over to Edwards, of course, which has everything. I guess we could, couldn't we? I just think it'd be fascinating to see if it does work. How am I coping with the repeating engine sound? I really haven't noticed it. I'm concentrating more on what's going on. So, oil quantity, does that mean it's a consumable that you can eat your way through? Was it in the list of... No, it's just going to be fuel, isn't it? So what I was wondering is whether if you put cargo in, if it will actually make things appear or not. But I'm not sure that they've implemented that. The part I was talking about, if we go to Captain Sim, and we go and look at this, here we go, here's the new C-130. When you go to buy now, and you go to more info, oh, it pulls up the same page. I'm sure I saw somewhere like a mission pack link, but I'm not sure what it meant. So Owned Aviation is saying, how can I fly with you? Well, using the normal methods in Flight Simulator. Okay, so this is where the Jedi transition crosses over to meet up at this rock and then heads back south towards China Lake and Edwards. I'm just going to come off the power for a bit. Let's just find out if this works. So, what's the range on the China Lake? 40 miles. See, that's still quite a long way out. I bet Edwards is a lot further. 90 miles. So let's put a range ring on it. So we might be able to pick it up already. So let's go 11640. Let me turn the head tracking off to do this. Are we getting anything from it yet? So if we went across here... Oops, I think I've just hit the ground. Yep. This is the penalty of messing around in the simulator. I've got damage switched off for this test flight. I think we just touched the ground actually. Not really slammed into it, we scraped the belly. I'm more interested though in this. Why is it not working? We're within range. Although maybe it doesn't work with TACAN. Maybe that's it. You'd expect it. Yeah, and TACAN's not an option we can choose. That's a shame, isn't it? So we can use VOR, but not... So what have we got nearby that's a VOR station? Of course, this is the US, and it's the military area, so there aren't any VORs. It's all TACAN. Although, is that they're VORTEC, aren't they? Yeah. So I should do both. So should that. 11640. Let's just keep an eye on this and try and adjust this either way and see if it will tune in. Oh, we've got the marker's gone away, but it's not picking up any distance. Doesn't mean anything then. Curious. So we've got a question from Colin saying, quick random question, when 2024 is released, will you play all the missions on the channel? I don't know. If I do the missions at all. I'm not really a kind of a mission kind of person. I'm more of a finding out how things work kind of person. But I may do. We'll see. I think I've done one of the activities in the simulator ever. This is frustrating me enormously that you would have thought this would have worked, but maybe I'm tuning it in wrong. Or maybe we're just too far away still. Of course, the hills could be in the way. Anyway, we're not going to get too wound up about that. I've got to worry about landing this thing soon, so maybe we put it into China Lake rather than trudging all the way over to Edwards. So we need to do a right turn and head towards Searles Lake, which is over here. Heading for speed, 250 knots is good. What do we get for the external lights? Just wondering if it has landing lights at all. Go and check that again then on Edwards, just to make sure. Actually, let's do this on, because we're really close to no, that's just a Tecan though, it's not a Vortec. Yeah, that was 60. Yeah, you're correct, 65 miles. It's only a 25-mile range, that'd be why. I'm an idiot, aren't I? Says me right for not reading things properly. I'm tempted to go down to Edwards just to play with ILS then. So when we get to here, we want to fly. Should we use slew to get there fairly quickly rather than mess around and bore everybody to death? And turn us slightly back out towards Edwards. It really is in the middle of nowhere, isn't it? The high desert, as they call it. So there's Edwards in the distance. So we want the ILS tuned in. 11640, let's put that 25-mile... we want range ring trainer, don't we? Okay, so we should pick that up now, 11640, but obviously we're not. Oh yeah, we still got that tuned in, so have we got a... Yes, we have. Hurrah! It's working. So it does work. So the course should tell us the bearing off of our nose to go straight to the beacon, which is perfect. 210 degrees, which we know is correct because we can see the base out there. Okay, so we want 110.10 ideally for the ILS. So let's go and fly this properly, shall we? So 11010. And the direction of the runway is 226 degrees. So let's go and get this set up. 226 is going to be there somewhere, isn't it? about there. Oh no, oh, it's got it here. There's me looking at the dial. Okay. Let's start descending. So what's the... Have we got radar altimeter in here though, haven't we? What's the base elevation? 2,300 feet. So we want about 5,000 feet on the altimeter. So we need to lose a few feet. Let's just put the head tracking back on. Coming down a bit quickly, we might have to do an orbit. Hercules don't like diving by the sounds of it. But the throttle's pulled all the way back and it's still coming in too quickly. We want about 5,000 feet before we turn in. To get 2,500 feet at the beginning. Yeah, that's interesting look. That hasn't... Oh, it has gone. Yeah. I'm just not looking at the readings. I'm going to orbit the other way, which will give us more time to slow down. Speed's coming off, which is good. Very unconventional approach. Still losing height, which is good. So we've got the glide slope showing up here. Do we get... Oh, there's a turn coordinator there, look underneath the attitude indicator by the look of it. Interesting. We're at 5,000. Let's have a look at the map and find out where we are. That's good. That gives us some more time to lose some more speed. So you can see the glide slope is just coming in. We should see the localizer start to come in soon. It's a good point actually. Which runway is it's on the left runway. Okay. Here comes the... Wow, that's quite fine-tuned, isn't it? It's moving very quickly. Just trimming us out. Just off to the left, a little bit below the glide slope still. So we want to get down to about 120 knots while also following... Yeah, we've gone above the glide slope now. That was clever, wasn't it? plenty of time to lose the speed. It's coming off now, we've got some flaps out. Pretty much on the glide slope. Obviously we're visual with the runway anyway. Shall we look at it from outside? Oh, there's another one. It's a Transall though, not a Hercules. So we're looking to lose some more speed now. There's 125-ish on the indicated airspeed. It's fairly stable. A little bit low. Whoa. Drifted a little bit left to the end there, but not too bad. Flaps up. Very cool. Very difficult to steer from that angle. I apologise for the idiot hovering over me. I should go and park next to the B1 over there. Might have to turn a little bit early here and not stay on the line, otherwise we might clash wings with the C-17. Actually, I think we'll be okay. this again. Okay, let's see what we can do. We should be able to turn the engines off for a starter. So I'm going to turn the head tracking off. Presumably we pull the condition levers. Let's go and look outside and watch that happen. Very good. And then we can go and open the ramp. Apologise for the... I'm just gonna do this very briefly. There we go, we have some peace and quiet. And what else can we do? Access, let's try everything. I'm not sure what the flag relates to. So for people that have joined this late, let's go and open everything to show them around the aeroplane again. And the radome at the front as well. So we've just opened all the windows and the radome. It should be quite good. So we'll go to the external view and just center it up. And then turn off head tracking. Turn the speed down. And we'll have a look around the aeroplane again. So I've been pleasantly surprised by this aeroplane. I wasn't expecting it to be this good, given Captain Sim's reputation, so I took a bit of a chance on it. It looks very cool, doesn't it? Even some of the structures up in the roof have been modelled. It's very, very well done. I'm impressed. Even the labelling on the propellers, the textures are very cool, aren't they? Although there's a bit of a mixture there, look, on the nose boss itself, it's not quite as high resolution. So inside here we've got the radome, looking suitably rusty. And they've got the plugs on the pitot tubes, which is cool. That's fantastic. So I think well done to Captain Sim. I'm impressed with this. Obviously there's bits and pieces that we don't know how they work yet because there's no documentation, but I'm sure we'll get there with learning it and figuring it out. And there's only one livery with it as far as I know so far. This is the only livery, but obviously there'll be more liveries to come. There you go, the C-130 from Captain Sim in Flight Simulator. Hopefully you enjoyed that today. Obviously it was a bit of fumbling around from time to time trying to figure out how things worked. I will modify the notes of this video and put my checklist in place and post it out on the blog as well. So if you're not aware of the blog, if you go to johnbeckett.substack.com, you'll see all of my videos in the past. So I'll just quickly show you that on the screen. So if we still got a browser running, no we haven't. So just open the browser, and if we go to johnbeckett.substack.com, I will put it on here. So I'll put notes in the video after doing the live stream. So hopefully you enjoyed that. I did. And I'm hugely impressed by this. It's much more than I expected. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.